Hello, hello, my friends, and welcome to a Spooktacular here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls.
Ooh.
A ghost will follow you
Oh, of
home.
course, McKenna's Luna.
What did I do?
I put you as Luna for some reason. But tonight, my friends, we are going to be handing things over to Sarah. But before we do that, a few announcements. Other shows on the channel. Tomorrow night, Tabletop Bros. Come back. Hell or High Water. Chad's going to play Charterstone on their laptop, and we're going to have a good time.
Good times.
Mandatory.
Mandatory fun. Come
We're
and
gonna
watch.
have a
Come
good
and watch
time.
Matt try to commit regicide.
The beatings will improve until morality improves.
Yes.
Oh,
Beatings will continue until morality improves.
there you go. There you
Then
go.
on Sunday, a Sprout stream with me playing Final Fantasy 14. Let's see if I can finish off Stormblood. I'm getting close to the end of Stormblood. We might finish Stormblood off. Then Monday, Strength of Thousands AP. Matt runs that. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
There we go. Tuesday, Sprout stream, more Final Fantasy 14 because that game has been making my brain go burn, has been very restful.
Does that?
Wednesday, Wild Ambition. What will our party do in this city? Will Miss Honey Madeline continue to find ways to ruin Candor's life? Join us this week and find out.
You keep putting them in front of me, William.
Oh, I
What
do.
am I meant to do?
And then, of course, on Thursday, we're off, PFS in Winnipeg. Come and play a low-level adventure. Also, fun announcement, we have gotten support from Paizo for Game of Toba coming up in January, and they are giving us the multi-table special to run that has only been run at Gen Con right now.
Ooh.
So we're the non-Gen Con premiere of this scenario.
Yay.
Delightful.
So come and check that out if you're at Game of Toba. Then on Friday, the Astral Calling normally. And then I would normally now go into my lovely introductions with all of my friends being amazing people as they all are. But I am not in charge tonight. No. It is Sarah, also known as Cosmic Deity 746. Sarah, take over. If you want, you can take over. I realize I'm kind of just throwing the intro at you, but
No, that's perfectly fine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very spooky one-shot edition of Tabletop Rolls. I am going to be GMing tonight a little fun game with my wonderful players here. So I think we should just get into the crux of the story. Here we have a group of adventurers, a group that's been together for many, many years. But you see, they are suffering, as all people do, from the one consistent, the lack of money. And so this group of adventurers, so different, so wonderful, have been forced to turn to the one thing they dread more than anything in the world, the job board. Sad as it is. As they seek the job board, they come across what seems to be a crumpled and worn, tattered piece of paper, aged in decay as if it's been sitting there for quite some time. On it, it says thusly: "We are seeking aid to cleanse a curse. Riches offered to any brave enough to help the fair citizens of Dusklight." Now, riches sound pretty good, don't they? And what is a curse but a simplistic nature check away from a cure? So with steady hands and sound minds, our group of adventurers grab a cart and make their way to Dusklight. As this cart rolls steadily on, let's meet our adventurers. Matt, who are you playing tonight?
Dear. I am playing Timidist Snowfoot, a Haragon wizard of some middling skill.
I see.
I'm
Very fun.
I am a small-sized creature, so I'm a little rabbit wizard man.
Oh, please tell me how he's dressed. What is
He's
a,
got
what
a
is
little
rabbit
waistcoat.
wizard wear?
Yes, he does.
He has a little
God.
waistcoat.
course
He's got
he
a little
does.
backpack, and he has numerous charms strapped to his body, specifically to try and protect himself from things. Half of them are fake that he bought from people that were too convincing, but
Does
he
he
He's
is
just
have a
got
rabbit's foot?
tchotchkes.
and he is missing a foot.
Oh,
He has a
Sorry.
little rabbit peg leg, and this
His
is one of the
lucky
reasons he
rabbit
is scared of
foot.
everything.
Makes
buddy.
so much
He lost
sense.
his lucky rabbit's foot. That's so
Little
sad.
buddy.
It's someone's lucky rabbit foot.
Yeah.
Speaking of lucky or unlucky, if you take rumors to be, Maya, who are you playing tonight?
So I am playing a Mr. Binks the Jinx, if you will, and he is a black cat tabaxi. He's very skilled in the ways of knowledge, but he is, however, a little bit on the mischievous side, a little bit on the cantankerous side. He is a cleric of the god most known as Yog Sothoth,
Fun.
a
I
god
don't
of
know who that
knowledge.
Well, speaking
Also,
of
the
those,
rabbit next to me is looking a little delectable, I must say. It has been quite a while since we've had funds to eat properly.
that is
That other
very
rabbit.
true. That is very true. However, the one thing keeping you from indulging in a particular meal, Will, who are you playing as you sit between these two animalistic type creatures?
Hello, my name is Lisbeth. It's so nice to meet you. I am a lovely little artificer warforged. I make things, I protect things, and I most importantly protect my friends. I don't know if this will end in a fight, but if it does, I'm combat ready.
Perfect. And speaking of fighting, McKenna, who are you bringing to this adventuring party?
I am bringing Glory, sailor turned sellsword, who refuses to sell her plate armor out of pride. She gives a fang-toothed smile. She
My-
looks mostly human, mostly, until she smiles. And then you're like,
Delightful.
something's not quite right there.
They mostly come at night.
My armor is built into me, so unfortunately I cannot sell it.
Well, not with that attitude.
I suppose I
Well-
could sell my body.
Wait,
There you go.
I'm sorry, does this mean you're naked?
By
Well, rabbits
humanoid
mostly run
standards.
around naked. You are the outlier here with your little waistcoat.
That's a cultural thing.
I'm not knocking it.
Also, every
Maybe
time
it's
someone talks to me, they have to look down.
I'm not knocking it.
Lisbeth's culture that they go around walking naked.
I mean, it is actual plate armor. I've just integrated it in on top of my personal body. That's
Well,
how.
there you go.
Oh,
Yes,
I
it's
suppose
just-
that's better.
You
That's
all
basically how I
basically,
feel about my plate armor.
you, a party of four, have been together for a year or so, and this is a reoccurring conversation that tends to come up often. For some reason, you all can't quite come to some sort of agreement when it comes to matters of societal clothing choices, but that's neither here nor there. The best thing about it is that you all don't care.
True.
That's true.
So, our adventurers arrive. They arrive at dusklight, ironically, near dusk. It is overcast in this sleepy little village surrounded by trees. A relative sort of evening cool fog has settled in, and it almost seems very quiet as you approach from the road that leads directly into town. As you all arrive with your cart and disembark, you find yourselves, and I do believe you should be able to see the map. let me know if you cannot.
Another
I am
menagerie.
Tiny
I am
Glade.
Yes. So for anybody who is confused, Tiny Glade, the brand new game, has a DM-based sex screen. So basically you make your town and you can make it really pretty. So I made this in the Tiny Glade. Very cute.
Thank you for the villain
Yay!
point, crazy, I guess? Question mark.
Sarah.
Yay! Thank you.
A villain
Crazy.
point. Wait a minute.
So,
Ooh.
Have you never seen a villain point, Maya?
Not in our campaign.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
never
people don't
happened.
give them to me.
At least not on Fridays, because Mark's typically the one that gets them for you.
Yeah.
mm,
And he
well,
doesn't
thank
find
you,
them.
Crazy, for the villain point. I will hopefully use it. Remind me. So you are now in this little village. Tell me, what do you do?
I am immediately going to use my Eldritch Adept feat that got me Armor of Shadows from the Warlock invocations, which allows me to cast Mage Armor as many times as I want. Um, so I cast Mage Armor, I have it for 8 hours, and that activates my Arcane Ward, which gives me 13 temporary hit points, which I can refill every time I cast a Abjuration spell. Which, thanks to the Eldritch Invocation, I can do endlessly. So, and then I hide behind the Warforge.
So essentially, Timidus is you taking your name literally.
Yes, it kind of seems like my parents were tempting fate with that one.
Quite. It's like tick and talk. In any case, would one of you like to roll a nature check or a perception check? I can take either one of those.
I would love to
With
roll
my
a
real
perception.
Yes.
dice, I rolled an 18.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yes,
for anybody
real
who
dice.
anybody who does not know this, I don't do Roll20
Oh.
very often, so I've informed them they can either use Roll20 or they can use real dice. Either way, I am
That
perfectly
should not be with
Yay.
advantage, but the first roll was a 24 for Elizabeth.
I got to 21 as
24.
well.
21.
I did not get good. I got a 4.
Aren't
Okay.
you a
So
wisdom
everybody
class?
except Maya's character Binks hears this. Binks is a little bit hungry right now, hasn't had anything to
I'm
eat in the last
just
couple
Staring
hours. So
intently at the rabbit.
yes, to which I imagine Lisbeth is still right in between you two, so nothing happens. But for this perception check, 3 of you, Glory, Timidus, and Lisbeth, all hear the sounds of nothing, which you find to be rather strange, because in a village such as this, which is sequestered very much in a tiny little glade, you would have heard birdsong or the rustling of the wind or leaves as you approached. But as you wander about this little town, you notice that you don't hear much of anything. In fact, you don't see much of anything. The village seems fine. The houses are perfectly normal, but they're quiet, and all of the doors are wide open. You notice that with anybody who had a 20 and up, you do also notice that there are barns and pastures within this village, but no animals. And there should be animals, because as you know, this village itself is an agricultural village. They thrive on crops and livestock, but there's just nothing. Hug your
Can
frog,
I-
Will. It's okay.
Can I sniff around to see if there's any like sort of tracks or anything leading out to the village? Like if there was a mass exodus of some kind?
Yes, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Okay, survival. It's not a great skill I have.
Someone should investigate. I look at anyone who isn't me.
I'm slowly sidling over this away.
That's a 15.
15. So you don't notice anything besides the general trampling of what you assume is the pathways that most of the villagers would have used. So
Mm.
essentially going between the main central where the well is and the different barns. You also do notice that there is a trail that leads past the houses up here towards what looks to be kind of a hillside that leads into the foothills. But you can't see farther beyond that. You do notice that the gates leading through that are, like the doors, wide open.
Mm.
Elizabeth will probably take a position in the center of town just so that she is easily able to go anywhere she needs to and just kind of keep a guard, keep watch as her
I would
friends
like to
investigate.
do that as well. I would like to see if I can just like look into the open doors of the houses, not necessarily go into any of the houses, but just like passive look into the houses, see what the state of everything is inside them.
Two things I
Okay.
wanted to mention just very quickly. If anyone
Yes.
needs it, I do have mage hand, so if there's something suspicious, let me pick it up from a distance with magic, so no one perhaps gets a bear trap on the hand. And second, I also picked up this ad from the job board about potato farmers, which seems a lot safer, so maybe we could just leave and do that. No?
You are welcome to leave at any time, Timmy.
I am not leaving on my own.
I've sidled
That's
up
what I
to this
thought.
door. Do I see anything through here?
Yes, so Binks and Glory, since you both made mention that you were going to look within the open doorways, I will say that you look inside these very modest houses, some of them a little bit bigger. They do look like family farm homes, definitely. So very humble. It looks as if it's been untouched. There's nothing out of place. I mean, there's just no people. However, Glory, because you are closest to look inside, you are able to get just a slight peek into where the kitchen would be within this village. And you notice that there is what seems to be, oddly enough, a dinner set. However, as you get closer, you smell rot. And you realize it is because this food has been half eaten and left to rot. But it looks as if there is no signs of struggle and no signs of anybody having left. Lizbeth, roll me another perception check, please.
A 20.
You hear a crack of a branch coming from the south of you. And as you look towards the sound, you see a figure emerge from behind the barn. It is a man, and he is walking towards you. But as he gets closer, you start to notice that he is unsteady. He teeters back and forth, and his head is downcast from you. And then he stops about 10 feet away from you. And you hear him go,
Friend? Not friend.
Not friend.
and as he looks up, you see that his skin is pale and placid, and his eyes are completely white. And as he opens his mouth to speak, it is nothing but a gaping maw of black. And as he looks at you, he shrieks. And you hear reverberating shrieks as one by one, 3 others shamble from the woods.
Don't like the word shamble. Don't like it at all.
Whoa.
And I would like you all to roll for initiative.
You don't
Now-
say.
Here we should do you want to use Roll20 just for the initiative tracker?
So
Oh yeah, you're right.
I would say I'm going to put the initiative tracker. I don't have the enemies programmed in.
Okay, that's fine. Then.
Um,
Never mind.
Paper.
Then never
So-
mind.
Never mind.
I've got a paper.
I got
I'm
my
going to
big
put down
dice.
your turn order.
I rolled a 5.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I am so cowardly. I get to add my proficiency bonus to my initiative.
Wow.
Actually, it's
Wowee.
it's a
Nice.
Haragon thing.
Also, just so that people can
Oh, dang.
appreciate McKenna's artwork. Oh, I don't have the ability to do it 'cause I'm not GM.
Because you
You
don't have to
Rip.
do
No,
You got the
you're
power.
not.
Oh, well,
Sad.
never mind.
Put it in the Discord for later.
Well, if you hit
um,
Control Z or Shift Z, it'll make it appear big on the screen. But yeah, I'll put it later.
Whee. Also, Sarah, for your knowledge, I got a 19.
19. Perfect. Okay. And Matt, what did you get?
I got a 21 actually.
Ooh. All right. So, with a natural 20,
Ruh-roh.
the red ghoulish villager will be going first. Next up in the turn order will be Matt at 21. After that is Maya. Then the blue ghoul here.
Oh.
Then the green ghoul, followed by Will's character. And then last but not least, McKenna.
Glory. Glory, glory,
Glory,
hallelujah.
Way to die.
So the first ghoul is going to take a few steps up, shambling towards Lisbeth, and as he gets close enough, he is going to attempt to claw at you with what look to be very dilapidated claws. And that is a natural 20. I am sorry.
I'm glad we have 2 clerics.
I don't have any healing spells, Matthew.
God damn
Oh.
it.
It's okay, I do.
That's okay. So you're going to have 4, 5, 6, 9 points of damage as the school takes a nice little chunk out of your arm.
Fine.
And luckily enough, that's all he can do. So next up in the turn order, Matt.
Okay.
Also, just so I know, with the natural 20, what did they get to hit me?
They had a plus, and then wait, no, sorry. You're right, 10. I apologize. I miscounted. It's 10. They got a 5. You're right. I was looking at the +2 and didn't think about it.
I was just double checking.
No, you're good.
Wanted to make sure I
Will,
got the damage right. Yes,
how
Matt?
does one make a radius in Roll20 again?
So what you'll do is you'll double click on your character.
Okay.
Well,
Well, not on an or on me.
Oh, so what you'll do is you'll go to the map, the measure tool.
Okay.
You'll go to pick circle,
Ah, there we go. Okay.
and then you'll do that.
Okay.
Candy that I'm gonna go grab. I will be quick.
That doesn't seem right. Is that the blast radius of a fireball?
Yes.
Good lord.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a pretty nasty blast radius.
All right, I can't do it and get all 3 of them. I'm going to place a fireball somewhere where I can catch red and purple.
All right.
Because Timidus is like, oh, I made a pellet. And
You
he's
made
going
it. I
to-
just I started
Wow.
blasting, is what he says.
Yeah, this calls for a measured and appropriate response. Fireball! I'm just going to throw a fireball.
All right.
Which is going to be a deck save, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Believe it or
Dexterity saving
not.
throw against my spell DC.
So that is going to be a purple saves at a
Okay.
21.
All right.
And red, what is your DC?
14.
He got a 14, so a meet to beat.
Both. All right, so it'll be half damage for each of them, but it is still 8d6. So
Right.
6.
So what are we looking at?
10, 13,
Mhm.
19, that's half of it, and then I'd roll the another 4, so 19 plus 6 again. God, this is a good d6. 25, 27,
Mm-hmm.
31, and one more,
Mm-hmm.
32. So half of that will be 16 fire damage.
You send out this firebolt and it almost boom, like panic sort of thing. And
Very much
the
so.
purple ghoul and the red ghoul and a portion of the house and the glade all erupt in flames. And the two ghouls are still standing in this burnt out section, but they are shambling much more than they would. And you hear them just go.
I look at this and I go, oh dear, I've made them more frightening, and I skipper away over this way. You guys have
All
got
right.
this.
Perfect.
Hop,
Next
hop,
up, Maya. Binks the Jinx.
All right. Binks the Jinx is going to let's see.
I like this d6.
Firstly, it's going to look at
These
how
AOs, I love it.
I think what I am going to do is I'm going to do a Toll of the Dead.
Ooh.
I'm going to do a Toll of the Dead on this creature, the red creature, right over
Um,
there.
Red one.
Quick question, Maya, just because I want to be a good party member.
Mm.
Is Toll the Dead necrotic damage?
Oh, it is. Oh, it is necrotic. We don't want to do that.
I'm
Just
not sure
kidding.
necrotic would work on it. These are undead.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but you know what I will do? I'll do something else. I'll do Word of Radiance.
Oh, that probably would work.
Yes, I'll
That'll
do
work.
that. Not usually my go-to, but I will do a Word of Radiance
Mm-hmm.
on each creature within of my choice that I can see. So I believe that's all three of them.
And that's all the three in front of you. Yes.
I didn't like that sentence. Didn't like
Well,
the way that implicates, but
right. Well, I mean, depending on it, you can also get this buddy here, who's up near where Glory is.
oh, I didn't
That
even
is
see
within
him.
your range of vision, so you could
Then
get
yes.
all four of them.
I would
not-
love to get all four. I didn't even notice the fourth one.
We're not
Oh,
shrouded in
that-
mist or fog. We're not in Silent Hill.
Mm, no. Well, it's mostly ground fog, basically. You can still see things.
That old ground fog.
Good old ground fog.
Yes, I'm going to do a Word of Radiance, and they must succeed on a Constitution saving throw.
All right. All right. So that would be a 6 for red, will not save. A
No.
9 for purple, will not save.
No.
A 14 for blue, does that save?
That'll save. That'll save.
Okay. And a 10 for green, which will not save.
No.
So green, purple, and red do not save. Blue does.
Okay. So that's I'm gonna roll 2d6 damage.
Mhm.
And I can't remember. Do I add a modifier to that, or is it just the damage?
Word of Radiance. I think it's just the damage because your save is doing the modifying, right?
Okay, yes. So that's gonna be 9 damage.
9 damage.
Yes.
Red is disintegrated in a pile of ash.
Beautiful.
Purple also disintegrates into a pile of ash. Green still stands, but like with the fireball, he has a series of ashen burns now gruppling on his body. And he groans in abject pain.
And
Uh.
I'm not gonna do anything else because my bonus action is null right now. I don't need it.
Okay. Perfect. Blue will shamble up towards you, seeing that you have caused a large amount of light, and it is going to try and reach for you to bite at your arms, which are
I also
out.
want to make, yeah, super clear that the light is a very sickly green light. It's not a pretty light.
No. Um, does a 19 hit?
Yeah, 19 hits.
Okay, it's not too much, it's not too bad. So that is going to be 7 points of damage as this ghoul, surprisingly without any visible teeth, gets a bite into your outstretched arm, and you can feel teeth, but you can't quite understand why. Looking at this thing, it doesn't show teeth, it just shows black.
Ugh. Eh.
And yeah, and that is it. It's going to bite you, and then it is going to just stand there. It doesn't seem very intelligent, you can tell. Next up in the turn order is going to be the green ghoul. Yes.
At least it's
No.
environmentally conscious. As it's a
No,
green
I'm
ghoul.
sorry. Yes, the green ghoul, who is going to shamble up to you, Glory, as you are standing in this doorway, and he is going to try to claw at you as well. And that is going to be does a 16 hit?
Nope.
Nope.
Playing
Okay,
off the
so
plate armor.
as he tries, his claws come in and just grace off of your armor, and you get this feeling of satisfaction and righteousness because they wanted you to sell this armor. And you see as he flounders, he kind of shakes a little bit, and as he lifts up his head and looks you straight in the face, roll me a survival check.
Well, that's a 4 on the die face, and
You need to purge those dice.
a +1. It's going to be a 5 total.
Yeah, whatever happened to this guy? Not great.
Bad.
Yeah, not great. So
Bummer.
anyway, and that is the end of his turn. And next up, Lisbeth goes next.
I will eat the AO. So stride over here, I believe that's where I need to be. Let me just double check. I think it's here. It's there. So I will stride over
That's
here.
okay. He didn't get to hit you anyway. He missed
Fair enough.
completely.
And then I'm just going to do a cheeky little thunder wave. So I'll need the both of them to make me a DC 12 con save. Because intelligence, even though I'm an artificer, is one of my lower stats.
Green nat 20s, blue fails.
All right, so the fail is going to take
I'm rolling all
2.
these 20s. I'm sorry. I thought these were bad dice.
So the
Apparently
failure
they just waited.
will take 8 points of sonic thunder damage.
Just blue.
And
Never
be
apologize
pushed,
for art.
10 feet away from me.
Okay, so he's gonna 5, 10, poof.
Yep.
And he gets knocked back and unbalanced for sure.
And then with the rest of my movement, because you can move, attack, move in D&D, and that's just how it works, I will finish
As
off
long
my
as you do
turn
full movement.
right there at 30 feet, and that's my turn.
All right. He is dead, so he can't go. McKenna, it is your turn.
I'm swinging. I got my great sword,
Oh, and swinging.
and I am
We should
swinging.
make check.
So I have a +8 to this. I rolled a 9, so it'll be a 17 to hit.
That will hit, most definitely.
3 and 5, so it'll be 8 plus 5. That'll be... I should know that. 13. 13 damage on the first attack. Am I rolling again?
Don't even bother. You swing,
feeling.
and you take full, and weirdly enough, as you aim for this creature's head, you feel you're a fighter. You know how people die. You feel no resistance as it slices clean through his neck, and his head falls on the ground as it falls dead.
That's weird. That's not how that's supposed to go.
Delete that.
Smells rotted.
Then I am going to move, and for my second attack, gonna whack blue.
Whack.
No, I'm not. That's an 11.
Whack 'em.
That will not hit, unfortunately. As you go to take a swing, you are overcalculating, and the thing, which had already staggered because it had been pushed back, just barely whiffs past its head as it staggers back in sort of a weird, undulating matter.
Ew.
I know, delightful, right? All right, now back to the top of the turn order, which no longer applies because he died. Matt, it is your turn.
I do have one quick question. This is a rules thing. I can't remember. Is there like disadvantage shooting a ranged spell attack into melee?
Not in
Okay.
5e.
All right.
Not in 5e.
I'm
That's
just gonna.
TF1, Matthew.
I've got so many game systems in my head at this point. I apologize. I'm just gonna shoot a little firebolt at him, and Timidus is just gonna go pepper shot.
Oh.
All right. That'll do it. As you
Oh boy,
fling that.
that was to hit. Didn't roll the damage. Oh, I was supposed to. I
that
should.
definitely.
Hold on. I will just hit the. There we go. 6 acid.
There
That was
you
the
go.
wrong spell. Sorry, no, that was acid splash. 9
There
fire
we go.
damage.
Okay. Surprisingly, you create more damage, and you realize that as you hit it with this acid fight, this fiery damage, a part of its arm falls off and falls limp, burned to the ground, but it's still standing there, and it does give kind of a weird cry as if it felt that. But next up is going to be Maya.
Cool. I'm going to step but no, I don't want to do that because then you're gonna attack me. All right. I'm gonna do another word of radiance. Fuck this guy.
Mhm.
Blast.
Okay. It fails that.
Excellent.
Go ahead and roll whatever damage you got.
That wasn't great, but that is 7 damage.
It obliterates into a pile of ash as this green
Delightful.
light overtakes it, and it completely disintegrates. And once again, as you defeat these fiendish ghouls, it is silent once more in Dusklight Village.
Well, that was odd.
Oh my gosh, some of you are hurt.
Who? Me? No.
Oh, it's fine. Just a little bit of damage. What about you, Bunny?
I mean, I'm a little winded, and I may have
Yeah,
made
you do a
pellets,
lot of
but I'm.
running.
It's what I am good at. I've got one good foot, so I might as well use it. I came back, and I nearly blew up 2 of them.
Very nearly, thank you. Slipping into my Calder voice, that's not good.
I go over there and do like the thumper thing on some grass that's still smoldering, like tap 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 with my one foot. Tap, 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 try and put the fire out.
It's okay. I don't think you need to worry about setting any of these houses on fire.
I don't know. Like the grass could be very dry. I could start a forest fire.
Speaking of, there's this. What did you say it was? There was like a footpath over here, Sarah. That
Yes,
seemed to be
so
leading.
it looks as if the well-worn trails, one of the trails leads upwards into kind of a winding up the foothills towards where the mountain ranges are.
And What did on the notice board, that one really worn paper? Could we discern anything on it?
I mean, as you pull it out once more, you reread the words that are scrawled into it. It's a very nice scrawl, beautiful character letters, so somebody who seems to have been well read. Seeking aid to cleanse a curse, riches offered to any brave enough to help the fair citizens of Dusklight.
Hmm. Well, come on, gang. Gold's not going to collect itself.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
gonna
suppose we're here to help them, not rob them.
trudge into the forest. Oh, that's a good point, actually. Do we find any gold in the houses?
I mean,
Do you want to search one of the houses?
yes.
Maybe. Yes,
So,
I do. I'll
um,
search this one nearest
Yes.
to me.
So this one looks like much larger house than any of the others. And as you approach, Glory, like you saw with the other ones, it seems like this has been an undisturbed house, aside from what looks to be, older. There's a thin layer of dust gathering on it. But as you continue through the house, are all of you around or inside of the house?
I'll be nearby.
Okay. So who is inside and who is outside?
I'm
I'm
inside.
going in.
Okay, so Binks, Glory, Timidus, and Lisbeth, are you outside?
Yes, I will be outside.
Okay. You hear another crack. And Lisbeth, you turn to look over Timidus's shoulder, and I can't place this on the map because I do not have a token for this individual, but near the entrance, coming out of the forest, you see a woman, and she is rubbing her arms as she approaches, and she looks at you, and you notice that she doesn't look like the others. She looks normal,
He's not like
but
other ghouls.
very frightened. She's a half elf. She has long dark hair, these brown eyes. She looks to be about, mid-20s, maybe a little older. And you can gauge that just as she approaches you very timidly. You can see just the slightest bit of half-elf blood from her ear set. And she looks at you and she goes, "Are you here to help?"
Yes, you appear to be hurt. Allow me to heal you. And Elizabeth takes out a gun.
"Oh, please,
Oh
and
no, it's
she
a healing.
cowers before you.
It's a healing. I know it's strange. She pulls the trigger. And functionally anyone within 10 feet of me gets. It's a healing gun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Herr Doctor.
8 temporary hit points.
My God.
She looks at you with abject terror for a second, but then kind of just like pats herself. Um, um, uh, I guess I feel a little bit better, but I was fine. I've been hiding, and I was just hoping. I mean, I was hoping somebody would come.
Yes.
Are you?
We are here to help. Do not fear, that was friendly fire.
Okay. That's all right, I suppose.
May I do a quick insight check?
Yes, you may.
I just want to know how genuine this person. I'm well versed in fear, so I want to know how genuine their fear is.
Mm.
All right, so that's a nat 13 plus 4, so that'll be a 17 on insight.
She is legitimately scared.
Oh
She
no.
is frightened. But you can also see that her eyes are not looking at where the corpses are. They are looking back behind her, up the hill. And she looks at you and she goes, they're all gone. They're gone. And you have to get them back, please."
I
Please.
mean, I think that might be why we're here to begin with.
Oh, thank God. The, up the hill, I, he, it's better if I explain it from the beginning, if that's all right.
Please take your
And,
time.
as she approaches you all find your search from the house didn't reveal much of anything. It was basically the same with that thin layer of dust. But as you all step out and see this woman, she
Found
she
dinner.
looks found dinner. She looks
Now. That's close enough
I
to my kin. We can't eat that.
Oh, fine.
can can somebody give me a medicine check? Just a quick one.
No.
Are we still in the house?
We just
So
came out.
you are in the house. All of you are now in this house and kind of the parlor room. You're sitting.
Okay,
Take
we're
this
all
as
there.
kind of a general healing rest sort of thing, so you can gather
23.
stuff back.
Oh, cool. The
All
sounds of the
right.
short rest.
Mm. Lisbeth, you're 23. As she sits and kind of nervously rubs her hands and looks around in fear, you notice that she looks very sickly. Like, not like a sort of ghoulish nature, because you ran into those ghouls. She doesn't have any of the like pale, placid, eyes white, any uh sort of sense of anything like poisoned, but she just looks very weak. Her bones are kind of jutting from her collarbone as if she's hasn't eaten in a while. She hunches over just a little because of her own body. But she sits there and she goes, My my name is Genevieve, and I'm a resident of this village. Um, I I need help because uh, so a few months ago, the lord of the village, Lord Dupont Red, he he returned to the province. He was a good man. He's a kind man, and he announced an engagement, right? He was engaged to a lovely woman of noble birth, and we were so excited. The the engagement, however, had to be put off a little bit for their wedding, um, because all of a sudden the ladyship got sick. And, after she got sick, we didn't see much of the Lord. And soon the crops began to fail, and the animals got sick. Well, it just seemed as if everything bad happened as soon as she came to the village. Well, we thought this was going to be a problem, but the elder, he said it was fine and that she was just, sick. So we kind of played it off a little bit. So the other day, the Lord, uh, he officially announced that his engagement was finalized. And he was going to hold a big, huge party to talk to the elders and the villagers and the nobles of the province to figure out why the crops were failing and all of that stuff. So he invited the villagers, and they all went to the Red Mansion. And that was a few days ago, and nobody's been back since. And then just this morning, those things started showing up. My parents used to joke that the reason why the Lord never left the house was because his new bride was just so beautiful, but look, you have to help my people, the village. they're there. They're up at that mansion. Please. Please find out what's going on so we can get back to normal.
Well, if the price stands, we are always willing to help.
Of course, I'm sure there's funds that can be found, and I'm sure the Lord Dupont, he's a kind and generous man. If there's anything you can do to help him, I'm sure he will reward you greatly. But
Excellent.
yes,
Not that that's why we're the only reason we're here for.
Well, that is the only reason we're here.
Binks starts walking the path.
Not the only reason we're
um,
staying.
all right. Well,
I mean, we're invested
just-
now. I'm just saying.
I mean, just
Mansion's
let them,
this way, yes?
yeah, up the hill. You can't miss it. It's up and towards the top of the hillside.
Do you have
and,
somewhere safe to stay?
Oh, I can stay here. I think you took care of the monsters from this morning, so I'll be fine. I think. Yes.
Perhaps
You
go
still don't
way
know where
down
they
closer
came
to the
from,
main
though.
road.
Sarah,
Well, yes.
did that count as a short rest, or should I do some healing for some people?
That
Okay.
counted as an additional short rest.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Can I roll insight on this frightened young lady?
You can. Yes.
I have a +4. That's a 16.
Okay. So you can tell from the way that she has described the story is she is telling the truth about the situation. You know, she's being honest that the Lord called for the villagers for an extravagant party to celebrate his engagement to the lovely new ladyship who just recently came in, but they haven't been able to see or meet her ladyship because she's been sick. And
Right.
as soon as she took ill and the Lord no longer visited the village, then the crops and the animals all became sick as well. So you can tell what she is saying is the utter truth. There is something she is not telling you, though. You can gauge that, but you cannot pinpoint what exactly it is, other than the fact that her eyes will not meet yours.
Banksy, hold up.
Mm?
You're sending us up the hill, possibly to certain doom.
Oh,
So if there's
Certain.
anything you're not telling us, now would be a good time to fix that.
I think the one who's doing this is her ladyship.
How do you mean?
Well, since she came here, the bad stuff just kept piling up. And then this party was for her. And the people are gone. And in their place, these monsters have come down from the mansion.
Why didn't you go to the party?
Well, I was sick. And she looks at you and she just kind of like shrugs. And Lisbeth, you can confirm she looks sick. Like she has been sick.
All
He
right,
has been
fair
ill.
enough. Fair enough.
Just before we go, a thought does occur to me. Can I examine what remains of any of these beasties that we defeated, or these
Yes, you may.
I would just be
Do me
interested.
a medicine check.
Well, no, I'm more interested in what they were wearing.
Ah, well, that is easy. You walk up to the decapitated corpse because that was one of the few that still actually you can find the body. The rest are ash or burned. They look like villagers' clothes.
Okay, so not fancy
Mhm.
thing. Okay.
No, nothing fancy.
All right.
Although one of the ones that isn't ash but is burned, you do notice that scraps and pieces of his cloth seem more finery. Like maybe there was some filigree in some of the doublets. but it's hard to tell because most of it has been burned away into a charred corpse.
Hmm. Can
Actually,
I?
Glory, would you indulge me in a little bit of paranoia? Any of the ones that even they are burnt, please remove their heads.
Understandable. You may want to look away, little lady.
Oh,
I think they're all ash anyway, but the parts of their bodies that are maybe
Yeah.
like ash outlines on the ground are also
Yeah.
decapitated.
Yeah, the two that got burnt into ash by radiant light, definitely, there's no heads left. But the one that just basically got burned down from just a massive fireball damage, yeah, you decapitate that one. And as you noticed, clean hit, goes straight through.
Real nasty. All right.
Can I
To the
do
mission, then.
somewhat of like either like if you'll like either a medicine check or if you'll let me have it, a religion check, to see if there's something weird about the decay of the corpses.
Yes, I will take either one of those.
Cool. I'll do a religion then, because I'm better at that. All right. It's a 15 on the die plus 5, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20. From the decapitated corpses, as you get close enough to investigate and take a further look at this body, you are familiar with religious symbols. You're more familiar with your own personal religious symbols, of course. So you're kind of surprised, but not overly surprised, when you see that surprisingly within the neck itself, and I am talking about inside the neck, two things strike you as odd. One, it does not bleed. Two, within the bones of the neck, you see symbols carved into the bones.
Can
But
I
you
read the
cannot-
symbols?
You can try.
I'm gonna try. As a side note, the languages that I know are abyssal, common, deep speech, draconic, infernal, primordial.
You can read the infernal.
Beautiful. What's this
All
say?
it says, sustain.
Sustain. I'm assuming sustain the
Sustain.
corpse. Sustain.
Can't tell. It seems like it's an older ritual. The language is infernal, but you can't quite place which spell or item it may have been. You definitely know that whatever was done to these creatures was old magic, old religious magic.
Interesting. Interesting.
How old? Old as balls.
Old as balls. In the efforts of time, I'm going to push you all along.
Yes.
Oh no, a
As
fog
you
cloud is
take-
pushing us.
Right? As you an
Dang,
automatic
fog
an
cloud.
automatic cutscene takes place.
Yeah.
As you all
We walk through the forest and the cutscene begins.
the cutscene begins. As you all ascend through the weaving trail leading up, you notice that the silence continues, and yet, strangely enough, it seems weird. You are deep within a wooded area, but it seems as if no animals can be found or heard within this area. The path itself has been trod upon, but if one or all of you would like to do a quick survival check for me.
I would love to.
Nope.
Just
You are
Rip,
not
that-
even proficient in survival.
That's an
15.
8.
Okay. McKenna, what did you get?
Got a 10.
So, Timidus, you are the only one to acknowledge this. As you are trailing up behind your friends, no doubt letting them lead the way through this kind of almost overgrown trail.
I'm also
You
kind
know
of-
it's a trail, and you know that it leads somewhere, but it also seems to be a little overgrown, which is kind of strange because that makes no sense. If this was a frequently used road by Lord Dupont and the villagers to visit Lord Dupont's mansion, why is it overgrown? At the top of the hill, as you contemplate this, it crests past the forest parts, and a large expanse of space is revealed, and at its center, on the top of this crest, you see a 3-story mansion with spiring towers before you. It is a lush piece of land, beautiful column trusses. I am talking plantation-esque sort of mansion with this beautiful awning where you can see what looks to be parlor doors, where no doubt parties were held and moonlight, ivy growing across the sides, natural sort of look with a little bit of an eggshell white. It is well kept, quaint, and quite beautiful for a supposed lord's manor. And as the night begins to fall a little more, behind the trees the sun sets and dusk begins to settle more, and you notice that lights burn in the mansion. You step forward and open the door. It is not locked in any way, and it opens seamlessly. The entrance hall is an opulent space with winding staircases leading up to beautiful overhangings. The floor is a beautiful, crisp, dark wood with lush, long, vibrant red carpets, artwork, springs on the wall, and potted plants of all exotic natures sit on different alcoves. It is gorgeous in here and looks lordly and rich. The 2 curved staircases parallel up towards a second level where you see a large door, closed. Below, beneath the hall, leading straight back past those staircases, you see another hallway. May I have either a perception or an arcana check, please?
Ooh.
Give you perception.
Quick question. Because I don't play Wizard very often, I forgot about this. Could I retroactively say during our short rest I did an arcane recovery?
Yes.
Thank you.
Natural 20
Yes.
for a 25.
I will do
23 on
an
perception.
Arcana.
Ooh.
All right, we're looking for
Ooh.
tiny keys to open doors.
That's a 19 on the
Mm.
die plus 8. I can't do math.
That's
Well-
lovely. All of you pass this
27
quite
for
well.
you, Maya.
Thank you.
Yes, Matt, what were you
I was
doing?
just-
What were you going to say?
Will, is your window open?
No.
Your curtain fluttered.
Are you spooking him? You stop that. Only I'm allowed to do that tonight.
I wouldn't do that.
Speaking of
I see what you're
spooks.
talking about, actually.
Speaking
The
of
fuck
spooks.
is going on?
Sorry.
I don't know. I have that effect.
Back to the narration.
The mansion is clean and spotless, beautiful with lamps, an almost sort of oil lamp-esque sort of thing. It feels very cozy. However, something feels a little off to all of you. As you enter, you notice that there are rooms off to the side and there's different areas. But when you turn to look around, for some reason, you feel as if you catch a glimpse of something. A cracking of the foundation. Plants dry and dead. Walls blackened. Lights dimmed. And then you blink, and it's the beautiful mansion it was. And you all hear the faintest touch of music. begin to float down the hallway on the first floor, accompanied by the sounds of laughter and conversation.
Hmm.
$50.
Before-
It's Moonlit Sonata.
I was gonna say
Mm.
Dance Macabre.
No, it's quite jovial. It seems as if it's a typical dance number.
A
Not
Charleston.
Joplin.
Not quite that. But I'm talking Bridgerton-esque sort of music.
Lots of
Lovely.
strings.
Before we go in, gang, let's see here. Oh, dang, I got rid of it when I was preparing spells in the last one. When I was poop. Well, I guess I do have a guidance. I'll give guidance to one person. I was gonna give people bless, but I got rid of my bless like an idiot.
I suppose I should ask, what is the, like, this is a spoopy mansion that seems somewhat underused or abandoned.
No, it doesn't look abandoned at all.
Oh, sorry, I got confused then. But is it lit? Are there wall sconces on? Okay, we don't need.
Oh yeah,
dancing
it
lights
looks
then.
as if this place is being used currently. You just can't see anybody within the parlor. You can hear voices and laughter and music, but within the main entranceway in the parlor, there doesn't seem to be anybody. But the wall sconces and the oil lamps are all lit. It's neat and clean, as if, you know, it was prepped and cleaned for a party. It's just the party is somewhere else.
Are there any coats nearby, like on a coat rack?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Quick, loot them for money, guys.
Yeah, I'll loot them.
Yeah, sure. You go
I'll loot the
into
pockets.
So there's a series of coat racks that are sit on near the entranceway, different kinds of coats. What you notice is that there's an eclectic mix of what look to be fine silk coats, and wool coats. So very much on opposite spectrums. But as you filter through some of the pockets, you come up with a few pieces of silver.
Yeah, I was gonna say I filter through the rich looking coats for sure.
Yes, the rich looking coats have about, I'd say you get about 5 or 6 pieces of gold, pocket change, as it were. Within the villagers, there's not much, maybe a bronze coin every now and then. And one, there's a bunch of Werthers.
Good idea, Bunny. Just for that, I'll give you a guidance.
Why? What, did you see something?
No, it was just a brilliant idea to search the pockets.
I kiss a few of the charms hanging off my waistcoat. I suppose we proceed to the parlor. Perhaps they'd have something to steady my nerves. A hot toddy, perhaps.
Be
Oh,
on your
yes.
guard. I don't know how politely they're going to take party crashers.
So you all
Yeah, I'm
head
gonna
down
try
the
to
hallway.
sneak in. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stealth it.
Kick the door open.
Go
Avon
ahead
calling.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth.
Let's see. That is a
Oh,
well, that's
boy.
a 17 on the die plus 6.
I rolled an 11.
So that's a
Your
20
party members
23, I think.
Yeah, your party members knew you were there and you were leading them down the hallway, and then all of a sudden, Glory's in front.
Shadows.
And you have disappeared into the shadows. Your party knows you're here, but they don't know where you are. So you are now hidden within the shadows. That is the different sections of the hallway itself. As you all make your way through this hallway, Maya, your character, very stealthy. It opens to another little area that's like a little alcove where there's another door, much bigger than the one you saw at the entranceway. But the sound of laughter is louder now, and the music is louder, and you can hear conversation like flow, and it seems so joyful.
What
As
kind
you
of conversation can we hear?
idle conversation. From a passive perception, you can definitely get snippets of the, oh, well, this season is the weather. I mean, it's been so, I mean, I thought he was very gossipy, very down to earth. Nothing that stands out amongst that, except Maya, roll me a perception anyway, just to see.
Okay. Let's see, 16 on the die plus 5, so that is an 21.
As you all come up to the threshold and you are listening in to see if you can't hear snippets of conversation in between, all of you step onto this alcove and make it. Binks, you hear something a little bit out of place because it's not coming from behind the doorway. It's almost as if it's right by you. And it goes, hungry. And that's it.
Hungry?
Yeah, Binksy, I know. We're all hungry.
Fur
Okay.
stands up on end.
I technically do not eat.
It's very true.
Don't you need oil or something?
No.
Also, Binks, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
God damn it! I'm in the shadows!
This is what we do in the shadows after
That's
all.
where they live. They're already there in the shadows. They've always been there.
Alright.
McKenna,
let's
you're
see
not
if I
gonna
can
give me that one.
I don't know if
add
it's the
anything
black
to
and white,
this.
but there's like, it's just really dark shadow behind Will around like the corner there. That no, I'm just saying.
I'm going to
Black and white.
fucking
Damn it.
kill you, Matthew.
Kill you!
I'm not saying any. It's just with the black and white, the curtains look
Haven't
like
even
just
got to the
Okay.
worst part yet. Give him a break.
That's not terrible. What was it, a
I'm just
wisdom
making
saving throw?
observations.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is a 17 plus 5.
Oh,
So
Okay.
that's a
22.
22.
So you
Thank
that's
you,
a
Matt.
save. You, as soon as you hear those words kind of like almost caress your ear, you feel as if you've got a tingle up your spine. And you definitely get a shiver and your hair stands up on end. But nothing else. Just that.
Blink further into the shadows. And I do the thing where like my spine just arches.
Mm.
Oh, that is not good for your back.
Lord, do I know it.
You can't see me, I'm stealthed.
That's true, they are stealthed.
Wow,
Would
Glory
anyone
just
like
ka-chunk,
to
ka-chunk, ka-chunk down the hall.
would anyone like to move further
Well,
in and open the
yes.
doorway?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So, Glory, you bravely step up while Binks, you are still hidden within the shadows. Lizbeth, Timidus, you are trailing behind Glory as she comes in and she steps to open the doors and they open for her.
Oh.
They yawn open,
magical.
big, huge doors. And you realize that's because they were opened by footmen on the other side.
Oh. Well.
The party is raging right now. I mean, in terms of, medieval-esque parties, people are spread about this ballroom. It is a beautiful, opulent ballroom with a crystal chandelier, lights tinkle in the sky from different sort of fairy lights, obviously some sort of enchantment going on. There's dancing, music, an orchestra sitting over in the far corner. It is playing a beautiful tune of which men and women, men and men, women and women are dancing and having the time of their lives. There is laughter and fun, and it is almost warm as you look into this open doorway and see that there's a mingling of commoners and noblemen. They are chatting. The lights are blazing. And that is what you see.
I lean over to whatever party member is closest to me and just ask, How long did that young lady down the road say they'd been up here? Partying?
A while?
A few days.
I go over to the footman and I say, how long has this party been going on?
Oh, then we're here to investigate a noise complaint.
Nothing from the footman.
He turns to look and smiles at his fellow footman. And then they turn, and as your paths cross through the threshold, the door closes behind you. As all four of you. Binks, you're still hidden within the corners of the shadows, so you're still stealthy. But you all
I'm gonna say
cross
that I
into the
try.
ballroom.
I wanna slink towards wherever. Like, I'm assuming there's some sort of food spread against a wall or something.
Oh, absolutely. There is tables piled high with extravagant foods. Very obviously, some from the local village. You see corn and bread that has been baked, and it's lovingly showcased. Obviously, a pride and joy of the people. There are different exotic foods from different areas for all types of palates within the realm. But it is full of accoutrements, beautiful vases of flowers. It's up against part of the far wall next to the orchestra, obviously, so you can easily sneak behind it without anybody seeing you.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak behind it, but I'm also going to try to. I want to sniff the food. I want to see if this food is what it seems, or if it is in fact rotted. Like,
While she is doing
Okay.
that, can I roll an Arcana to see if there's some magical chicanery going on?
You
nice,
may.
nice.
I would say, Maya, give
Ooh,
me
never mind.
a.
Can it be Arcana?
Yeah, you know what? I'll play it. I'll play Arcana for both of you. Yeah, Matt, Timidus is overwhelmed right now. There's too much going on. Too much, too much, too much. Parties are not Timidus's things.
Remember,
you-
Timidus, you do have a guidance on you.
Well, that would have just turned that into a 10.
Oh well, all right.
I think that's what
guidance,
is guidance advantage.
guidance in 5e is a d4.
All right.
D4.
Oh, well, why not? It's on the next thing, so I have to use it now anyway.
Yeah.
That would not be a right roll. That's an E. Ah, there we go. I still didn't fix it. What the hell?
Well,
You know
no
what? I'm
harm in
just gonna
trying.
roll the D4, which is a unique D4. It's just a triangle, and the bottom is blank. That is a 4, so that turns into a 13. I'm not sure if that's any better.
You can definitely feel the crackling of magic in the air. There is as you look up, you look up and see that there's the crackling of magic. But there's fairy lights. So somebody has cast something like fairy lights up in the ceiling. As for the rest of it, it seems relatively okay. Basic magic, it's different. You can definitely pinpoint that people within the party have some sort of arcanic, like, wizardry or sorcery in their background. So
Yeah,
Mm.
Binks's eyes glow green as he's examining the table. And I rolled an 18 plus 8, so that is a 26 for this food specifically.
you sense nothing magical about that food. You do get the feeling of the overlaying arcana that is part of the parlor itself, the energy of the area, archaic. You do see that a lot of it is centralized up above into the ceiling. And as you look above, you see the fairy lights, the pretty glowing lights that are dancing around with the music, and you definitely see that the ceiling itself is very mural. It's a beautiful mural. Thank Beauty and the Beast, y'all. It's a beautiful mural. So you gauge that there's, probably a lot of stuff that's going on in the background to make the party look spectacular. But from the food that you are specifically looking at the table, you see nothing arcana. It's
Well,
food.
I'm gonna leave it up to the dice. Odds I eat it, evens I don't. That's evens. I'm not eating the food. I'm too
Probably for the
focused.
best.
All right. Fair
I-
enough.
I wonder what would happen if someone were to go out into the center of the dance floor and make sort of a faux pas. This seems all to be very elegant and very upper crust, and if someone were just go out there and
Glory just clunk, 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 clunk,
okay, this was hypothetical, but I admire your bravery.
and
It's
just
fine, I
stands
was
in the
gonna
middle of
push
the
you.
dance floor and goes. Does anyone make notice of the person in full plate with a sword on their back, not dancing in the middle of the dance floor?
Breakdance.
No, they do not. However, as you make kind of a big faux pas, you realize that the party goers don't notice you. You know, they're still within the world that they have. They're talking back to each other, except you do hear a ting, 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 ting of crystal glass as the band lowers. Glory, you're standing in the center of the dance hall as everybody at once turns and looks up towards where, you know, the top threshold of the ballroom itself, where a normal lord and lady would be sitting. There is a gentleman. He is tall and handsome, dark hair, kind of bluish eyes. He looks the picture of a lord. He is draped in a red sort of suit, a doublet and finery, and he stands with a little crystal goblet in his hand, and he smiles brightly at the people, and he looks, and as his eyes pass over, all eyes are on him, and you can tell right away that this is Lord Dupont Red, the lord of this province and the leader of Dusklight. And as he smiles, he says, I wish to thank you all for coming to such an illustrious gathering. My people, my friends, I understand that the last few months have been difficult for us all, and I sincerely apologize for any feelings of betrayal you may have felt for my absence. But know that from today onwards, you, my people, will have my undivided attention once again. Tomorrow, we begin again with talks of the agreements and the industry, the security of you, the people of Dustlight, but tonight we dine. And as he says that, you feel like a joy and jubilation as noblemen and villagers are all proud to hear that their illustrious lord is back again. And he smiles and he waves his hand and his eyes cross over you, but they do not meet yours. They are on the people surrounding you. Nobody has noticed any of you. My dearest wife would have been most honest to be here. She would have been honored. However, unfortunately, she is once again disposed, and has been as of late, but I feel it would not be right to push her past such limits of her own health. But know that from today onwards as well, she too will have your attention. She is committed to the security of Dusklight and to the comforts of its people, and as soon as she becomes healthy, she will be a light in our little town. Of that I promise you. And he smiles, and as he speaks, I want all of you to give me another perception check.
18.
Percepzione.
Lisbeth?
18.
This dice is
Did
going
we
in
all
dice
roll
jail.
18?
No. Um,
Oh, I would have done so
I
much
rolled
better
an
if I
8.
rolled my actual dice.
Binks, you are your attention is on the people who are near the food and all of those people. You're just watching them and you're trying to think to yourself, how can I best pick these people's pockets? Be very simple if I just reached in. But
You've
Glory,
got to pick a
Lisbeth,
pocket
and
or two.
Timidus. As the Lord continues his speech, which you hear is him boistering praise and honors and talks about how he's spoken with the elder of the village for communications, He's growing with new industry. You feel a drop on your forehead, like a rain droplet, and then another. And you look up, and you see above your head where those fairy lights still dance. On the muraled ceiling, a sigil begins to carve itself in the mural. And it is carved with fire, and it drops of blood. And then you all find your eyes drawn to this as it begins to drip more and more blood. Plip, 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 plip. And you
crawl
are
under the table.
fascinating. You are fascinated by this as you crawl under the table in the darkness underneath the crowd. You all hear the sounds of laughter and conversation turn into screams, choking and gasping, and you smell smoke. And suddenly, you are in the dark.
Do I recognize the sigil?
You know it as infernal. You don't know the full text of it because it is already burned. But what you did get was sustain my blood. That is the only words you found from it.
Hmm.
And as you all blink with your night vision, I was about to say, you notice that the room is changed. It is empty of people. It is empty of life. The walls are darkened charcoal gray with black stains that leak from below the ceiling and from the bottom. The ground itself is cracked. The curtains torn. The marble stained.
A
The
memory,
food.
perhaps.
Binks in front of you is rotted with flies and maggots, and it is
Glad I
very
didn't eat
lucky
that.
you didn't eat that.
Glad I didn't eat it.
The door to the entrance creaks open as if it is rusted. And you all hear, hungry, hungry. And you turn and you see just the tail end of a figure ascending up the corner of the stairways to the second floor, cloaked with black and almost hunched before it disappears from your sight.
So glad
The
I'm under
lady
the
of the
table.
hour.
Hard to say. What do you do?
Welp.
Yep.
Looks
Follow the
like
bloody
we have
brick
a ghost to
road.
chase. Chase?
You give chase?
Glory, is it all right to come out from under the table?
I'll just grab.
Define all right,
no!
Tinny.
I'll just get him by the scruff and just bring.
No!
Yes.
Fireball!
You yoink him and pull him.
Like,
There's no
criminal
people in the
behavior.
room. It's very criminal. As you all exit out back into the hallway where you just came from, you see it is vastly different. The rugs are stained and torn. There is a layer of dust. The oil lamps are covered in cobwebs. They have not been used in a while. And it leads out to the parlor, which in and of itself is also dilapidated and old. But you can still see that the scorching of flames still keeping the house manner intact, but definitely coating every surface, including those dead plants that you caught only a glimpse of in passing glance. And as you enter back into the entranceway, you turn to look just in time to see the doors above shut as the figure glides in. And you all, I'm going to keep moving this along if you don't mind, just for timing's sake. You all ascend upwards, climbing the stairs, which previously were a beautiful marble, but now are very uneven and warped with wet. And you can't tell if it's water or moist damp or maybe something else. But as you enter up to the top, you see the door. It's cracked open. It's not closed. And you hear timidly, you all push open the door. And you see a beautiful bedroom. It is covered with light, except for one slight detail. And I'm going to switch you all over. It is littered with corpses and blood, and on the far end are two sigils, surrounded by a beautiful piano, and the hunched figure sits at the end, turned away from you, muttering. I need to get you guys here. How do I move tokens again?
So
From one
you
map to the other.
can select them all, press Control C.
And copy and paste them.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I mean, we can always just reapply our tokens if you want.
No. I will move you.
All right. So now if orbs start coming out of those portals, we need to get in the way of them, or else they'll brainwash our friends. If you see a big eye on her, turn away.
What are you talking about?
Players. I know what he's talking about. It's for my benefit more than anything else.
Benefit.
I mean, this is only a light party.
As you enter this room, the door behind you creaks shut. And you hear, "My love, I am tired, my love. I ache, my love. I do not feel well. Please, no more, my love. I can't. My love, my heart. I am." And she stands, or more floats upwards. And she turns, and the cloak tears away from her as this figure of a woman with long black matted hair floats in a torn ruby red dress.
Ooh.
And she turns to you, and you know that face. It is hollow, with circles under eyes gone white, and a mouth bloodied, as Genevieve looks you in the eye and says, "Roll for initiative."
I know that.
It was all a ruse.
Uber Eats.
You didn't specify you wanted it left on the porch, so...
That's
I
fine.
got a 12.
I will be going
What
last.
is that?
Yeah.
By choice?
No.
Oh, dang, I'm just good for initiative tonight.
All right, Will, that is a natural one. I'm going to give you an effect for that.
Ooh.
That's a
I
That's
remember
good.
how we used to roll natural ones
22.
for initiative back in the day.
He trips on the piano bench.
And Will, McKenna, Maya. All right, Will, McKenna, what was yours again?
12.
12, Maya.
22.
22. And Matt.
23.
23.
Timidus has a very itchy trigger paw.
Okay, and 10. All right, so first up in the turn order is going to be the Lady of the Hour herself, who rolled a natural 20.
Of course she did.
Of course she did.
Oh, balls.
Next up in the turn order is going to be Maya with Binks. So you are number 2. She is number 1. After, I'm sorry. No. Reverse that. Timidus, you are 2. Maya, you are 3.
Mhm.
You are 3rd in the turn order.
I wasn't gonna say
After
anything.
that is going to be this phantom ghoul right here.
Oh, I thought that was scenery for a second.
Nope.
Mhm.
As you
Whoops.
notice that within those sigils, 2 ghouls come out as if they have been resurrected from the spirits of the corpses around you. The red one will be 4th in turn initiative, followed by McKenna. You are 5th in the turn initiative, followed by the ghostly blue ghoul, 6th, and Will up the rear with a 7.
Phrasing.
Lizbeth, as you step up, I'm going to make this very quick. As you step upwards and seem to almost take in the look, you slip on some blood and you take 3 points of damage as you fall flat on your face.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
Which means you are also now prone.
You're also now prone.
oh well.
All
So
right,
I guess I won't
first
do
up-
anything on my turn then.
First
Rip.
up in the turn order is going to be our lovely Venturic Spawn, who is essentially going to lift up her arms, and she is going to hiss and float forwards and immediately attempt to bite Glory in the
Does
face.
she have to?
She is hungry. That is going to be
And I just look like a whole meal, don't I?
Mm.
You're just a
Um,
snack.
15 to hit.
She bites armor.
Clang.
So she
Just
comes in
gets a
and she goes
Face full of
to
cauldron.
boom, bite your armor. She hits nothing. You hear her gag and cough, and blood comes out of her mouth as she looks at you. And then she goes, "Speed!" and she reaches over and grabs to claw at your throat. That is going to be her second attack.
And people laughed at your World of Warcraft pauldrons.
16.
No!
She glances against your armor again as she hisses once more. And then, in addition, she is going to look at you, and you need to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no, my one weakness. Come on. Big 20, no whammies. I'm gonna use a hero point.
Do we have
Please
those?
do.
I hope. Do we
And
have a
you
hero
get
point?
you start with a hero point at the beginning of
Okay.
the session. It's your only one right now.
It was a good choice because that's going to be a 19 on that wisdom save.
That saves. You can feel a piece of your spine tickle just the slightest bit as you feel as if spiderly fingers are trying to claw at your back of your head. But it is unsuccessful. Next up in the turn order, Timidus, it is your turn.
I
Look at that. Squishy gave you your hero point back.
Thank you, Squishy.
Yay.
I
I'm
am
probably going to need that.
for the moment. I'm just gonna shoot off a fire bolt at our vampire lady here. So I've got other plans for later. So I should actually roll that on the attack thing. Firebolt can only be a 16 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. Hold on. I was trying to roll the damage. Sorry. That's a 7 fire damage.
Okay.
And then I am going to.
You definitely singe her just a little bit as
I'm
she
just-
hisses and recoils against the flame. Not that that means anything. It's just she doesn't like that you tried to burn
Back.
her.
Back, undead fiend. And I back up and I end my turn.
All right. Next up in the turn order, Maya Binks the Jinx.
Undead, you say? Well, and Binks is going to
I'm
reach
guessing.
out to his god. And he is going to channel divinity.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Yes. So that is going to be a DC Wisdom saving throw for you.
All right.
Bring the beat in.
And it's going to be for
Bring
all
up
of the
the
ones that
artillery.
can, all of the ones that can see and see or hear me. So it's
Okay,
going to be,
so Genevieve is a 17.
yeah, she saves. I figured she'd save.
The blue ghoul is going to be an 11, so he won't save.
Yep.
And the red ghoul is a 12.
Doesn't
So-
save.
The two ghouls do not, but she does.
Yeah, I figured. I wasn't aiming for her anyway. But as for those two, well, they are turned, unless they are, hang on. Do they happen to be at a CR level of, hang on, of 1/2 or lower?
They are Sierra level of 2.
Damn. Fine, they're just turned then, they're not destroyed. Fine. You can keep your ghouls.
I'm sorry. I apologize profusely. It's a good try. They are turned though. I've quite
Yes.
literally turned them, so I remember.
Excellent. But yeah, so I'm gonna just turn them and let them attack their mistress. And so that is my action. I believe is a channel divinity is an action.
Mhm.
Bonus action. I'm going to. Does anyone look? Oh no, channel divinity is a bonus action.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Is it?
just kidding.
Wow.
No. I can use it as a bonus action to regain a spell slot.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a different thing. Just kidding. Never mind. Nobody looks hurt yet though.
No, you all are still at full health, I believe.
I had
All
temporary hit
right.
points, so I'm good.
Hackles up, everyone. And I'm just gonna
Okay.
be ready for the next thing. I will take, unless am I within 5 range of her?
You are. You're 5 feet from her.
Then I'm gonna stay where I am instead of moving.
All right. Next up in the turn order is going to be the school who is turned and is going to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 make their way over to their mistress, and they are going to try and send out a necrotic attack. Hold on, I have to look up the actual attack. Cheeky little what is that? Oh no, they can't. They need to be within range for everything. Interesting. So they're gonna do 2 speed, and they're gonna boop, 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 and that's gonna be their full action as they come up behind their mistress and seem to be turned in her direction. But they can't do anything because they can't do a second attack. So, next up in the turn order is going to be McKenna.
That's me. All right. If that's how you want to play this, I'm gonna use my bonus action and
Can I just make a quick little thing? A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can. It can't willingly move into a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its action, it can only use the dash
that's
action
right.
and try to escape.
Oh, well, there you go. Bye.
All right. Then I'm gonna relegate.
Sorry, I just was like, wait a minute.
No. I'm gonna relegate by saying I was assuming turned was trying to attack their mistress, but turned.
Same. I very rarely use turn undead.
They are going to basically make their way to run away into essentially the sigil. Yeah, and that ends that's turn. Okay, so back up, Glory. Go ahead.
Sorry.
that's okay.
No. Thank you for correcting me.
All right, I'm shifting and I'm biting her back. This is a
Oh.
bonus action.
You know, if I had
It
a
does
nickel
not
for every
affect
time that kind
my
of played a
my
shifter, I'd have 2
2 sword
nickels.
action. You'd have 2 nickels, but this one is a long tooth shifter. Specifically, she starts to look a little bit more bear-like. You see 2 little ears poke out, and she
So
then bulks
cute.
up a
Love
little bit in her
it.
plate
Love
armor
it, love
and
it.
big old mouth of teeth, and she bites back. So let's see if I could bite this beastie. That's a nat 20, which is so sad because this one does not deal as much damage as my other ones, but for story reasons, I'm very pleased.
No.
So that's just gonna be 1d6 plus 5 doubled.
Spit out the blood after. You don't know where it's been.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll that damage.
That's going to be 7, so doubled because it's a crit. 14.
7. You get a nice sort of like, let's say grossly, you get a nice chunk of flesh. She's not wearing any particular armor as far as you can tell. It's just that tattered dress. So you definitely, from her range, get a nice chunk into her shoulder. And as you do, you hear her cry out in pain. And you hear her go, please, it hurts.
Yeah,
And
that's the point. And I pull out my sword, make 2 attacks.
go for the second attack. Roll for
That's
attack.
16 plus 8, that's going to be 24. And the second one, 10
Mhm.
plus 8 will be 18.
Both will hit.
So the first one, all right. 6 plus 1. The first one is 11.
Mhm.
The second one is 13.
Okay.
I have some-
Definitely cut into her flesh for sure. And you definitely feel the resistance on this one. Unlike the ghouls, you can feel the resistance to this attack.
Nice. I think I'm gonna make that last one a menacing attack and use my combat superiority. So if she could make me a wisdom saving throw, DC 16. I don't know why my DC is higher than y'all's. And if she fails, she is frightened of me to the end of my next turn.
That is exactly a 16.
Meet to beat. No worries.
Yeah.
For
I was
the
like, oh,
try.
well. She's definitely not frightened of you, but you can definitely tell she did not appreciate that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, next up in the turn order is going to be the blue ghoul, who is going to take this time to run the F away back towards his sigil. And he's going to be standing within the sigil, and that's about as far as he can go. And that ends his turn. All right, Will, your turn. You are prone.
Half movement, stand up. I went and looked it up.
Mhm.
Doop. Bonus action. Shield of Faith. Myself.
Nice, nice.
My AC is now 25. And then rest of my movement, get behind her.
Oh.
And
Be behind me.
Did we put McKenna's
smack
figure in
with a mace. Sarah, do you do advantage on flank, or is it still normal?
It's still normal. You are not technically stealthed, so she knows you're there.
Cool. That'd be 24 to hit her
That will hit.
for 6 bludgeoning damage.
Not bad. You hit her in the back of the head and you hear a sickly crunch.
Crunch.
Wait a minute. I recognize this battle map.
Well,
Wait a minute.
What do you
The
mean?
trauma.
I don't know what you're
trauma.
talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's
It's
my
only where
turn.
my previous character watched her god die. It's fine.
It's what I don't know what you're talking about. So weird. All right, back to the top of the turn order with Miss Genevieve. I need all of you to make me a wisdom saving throw. Well, not all of you actually. Wait, no. Hold on. How far are you away from her? Yeah, no, all of you. Wisdom saving throw, please.
damn.
10 for me.
That's also going to be a 10 for me.
Okay.
Fuck.
I'm hero pointing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hero point that
Oh,
too. Fuck that
wow.
roll.
Wow.
Come on.
At
Come
2.
on. Okay, that's better. That's better. So that's a 17.
Okay, so Maya Binks is the only one who successfully saves against a paralyze spell as she shrieks with open mouth as blood pours from her, and uh Matt, Will, and McKenna. I have to actually look up this spell. No, you have to give me the actual thing. That's the whole point. Uh you fail and you are now paralyzed for 1 turn.
Bad.
Fellas, guys.
Yes, yes. And she is going to take a second attack, and she is going to turn and bite at you, Lisbeth. You have your armor, which is great, but that matters little to her. She will do so anyway. That is going to be
Yeah, I guess paralysis loses my reaction.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 to hit.
I need a 25 to hit me, Sarah.
Damn. All
Dang.
right. So she goes to
Woof.
try and bite you, and it hits your arcanic shield.
If I have a reaction, I can make my armor class 30 functionally. Teehee.
However, as you watch her, and as she has done so, you watch as that bite in her shoulder, Glory, stitches itself.
Just to
And
be
that
fair
ends her turn.
to Sarah, did you roll that attack with advantage?
Oh, I
Paralyzed
didn't,
people,
did
you get
I?
advantage against them.
That is true.
That's correct. Let me do that
Why?
one more time.
Why? Why, Matt? Why?
I am also a DM, and I don't want to.
It's okay. It was a
Because
5.
he's right.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
fine. It was a 5.
That's a-
I'm sorry, Will. I just had to.
so-
Matthew, I
Mhm.
have 40 hit points. I'm fine.
Yes, but remember, if she
I'm
then hit it, you would have been
unworried.
automatic crit.
I'm unworried and
Paralyzed is no joke.
I'm unworried and unbothered.
Yes.
Flourishing.
And that will end her turn. Next up in your paralytic state, Timidus.
You ever
Is
see
there
a bunny
anything-
when it's scared? It's just like vibrating in a
It
little waistcoat.
Vibrating
And that's
bunny,
the
you
turn.
say?
essentially, its little nose goes like that. I had bunnies growing up, so they
If
do
I
little
wasn't
things.
paralyzed, I might drop another pellet.
Oh,
Maya, you are the only one not paralyzed, and it is your turn.
Yes, and I keep seeing her take chunks out of people, and I'm not a fan of that.
Bless you.
So
Bless
I'm going to seal mouth.
Ooh, ooh.
I'm gonna seal her mouth.
All right, tell me what that is. I'm new to that
That's
one. Tell
enough
me.
of that. Roll a melee spell attack against the creature if it hits. And I'll tell you what happens if it hits. So, rolling a spell attack. For a
Mhm.
melee spell attack, what am I adding to that?
Be your modifier, right? Your spell modifier?
Yeah, your
I
spell attack
believe
modifier.
so.
If you go to
Yeah.
spells, if you have a character sheet, it should have it for you.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. Spell attack. Oh, beautiful. It's a +5. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, come on, motherfucker. Do this to me. Why? That's fine. It's fine. That is a 9 on the die +5. So that's a
14.
14.
Does not hit, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It's fine. I should
It,
have saved that hero point. I will do as a bonus action though. No, I'm not going to do that actually. Just kidding. But I am going to Oh God, I don't want to do that because she's just gonna get an opportunity attack, and anywhere I run, she's still gonna get me. Ah, fuck.
If you're willing, you can use I think, an action to disengage.
I already
Mhm.
used my action to
Oh,
do the
there.
spell.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to no, I'm staying where I am. I'm just like fuck, fuck.
All right. So I'm looking up the turn undead.
It's 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
So they are still trying to escape, but you notice that they can't really go anywhere. So they
So
aimlessly
they can't
wander.
they can't escape through the sigil.
No. They both, honestly, like that was red. Sorry, it's supposed to be red. He aimlessly wanders among the area, but every time he attempts to like go somewhere he's not supposed to, I have to move that. He just ends up right back, and you can just kind of see that this looks like it once was a human being, but it definitely has eroded and rotted away from age. But these undead ghouls are aimless. They're running all over the place. They're floating, they're hitting things and walls, and they just can't go anywhere. They're stuck within this room.
Mm.
So that is the red ghoul's turn. Next up, McKenna, you are
I
paralyzed.
am paralyzed. Do I get a wisdom save at the end of my turn by any chance?
Oh, yes, you do. And Matt, roll me one as well.
I will use
Unless
my
you did.
actual dice for this. Only a tiny bit better.
Yeah, nope, that's a 5.
13.
Unfortunately, you're both still paralyzed.
Well, that's not good at all.
Yes.
How long was this supposed to last again?
1 turn. So you'll
Okay.
be able, your next turn you should be able to get back up
Yeah.
again, but no reactions, no anything, and you definitely have disadvantage from attacks. Next up after that is the other ghoul who, once again, you notice aimlessly wanders about as if he has no direction, cannot figure out where he's going. He's running away very much, and then he ends up back in that area again. And they're both groaning as if they are unsure what they're doing. Will, your turn.
Paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
16.
That will save. You are able to break out of the paralyzed state.
All right. So then that happens at the end of my turn. So that's my turn.
All right. It just means that when they attack, you will not be utterly
Yeah.
because they're gonna attack you again.
All right.
She is going to try and claw at you.
All right. I'm just going to plus most AC against the triggering attack. Okay. So yeah, fair enough. Let me know. You need a 25 to hit me right now, Sarah.
That was a 25 I just rolled.
Then I will use shield to make my AC 30.
Ooh, very nice. As she comes down with some claws, you are just able to. Here's how I see this. As she comes down to claw at you and rip open your throat, you break out of your paralytic state just enough to bring up that shield, and she glances off the shield and she looks at you, and you kind of see something a little bit. It's almost sad. Not because you blocked, but because she attacked.
Hmm.
And we move on to the next person in the turn order, which is Timidus. Actually,
As I
no, I'm
said,
sorry.
I
Let
was
me
combat
pull
ready.
back again. Let me pull back again here. I forgot. I have another action. She is going to try and claw at you once more.
Okay.
That will not hit. And then you watch as that slash mark that the sword made stitches itself.
Yeah. Liz will kind of just yell out, "Can someone figure out what possibly else is going on? I am not. I will ensure that they do not harm you. Please, someone else figure out what's going on in this room."
Don't ask me. It's not what Glory is built for.
Anyway, that will end Genevieve's turn. Timidus, it is your turn. And you are no longer paralyzed.
I am going to try and make an Arcana check to figure out what is going on in the room, because apparently it's not just about burninating the villain. Arcana, don't fail me now. 18.
You feel as if so here's what happens. You look and you try to assess what's going on in this room by kind of seeing the weave itself as much as you can. You're familiar with it for the most part. And you see that there seems to be some sort of tether made of magic that's pulled both ways towards those sigils, and it leads directly to the back of Genevieve's hands.
Looking at the sigils and with my kind of the fact I'm a wizard, studied magic and the like, and rolled an Arcana, would I have any indication of how far I would have to go to disrupt these sigils? Like, do I need to somehow destroy the mirrors? Do I just need to go and smudge some chalk on the ground?
What kind of languages do you speak?
I speak common, fiendish, and abyssal. I guess infernal is the fiendish.
Yeah, you can, I would say, let's just say it's kind of it's an eclectic mix. It's like you can gauge what Latin-based languages are because the roots tend to be very similar, so we'll go with that. But you can kind of see that those sigils are very similar to the big one that you saw in the ballroom. And you see it is sustain my blood. And as far as you can tell, those sigils are tied and bound to something that is keeping her sustained.
All right. But the sigils themselves from this distance, can I tell, are they just drawn with paint on the floor? Is it dust?
They most definitely are drawn with blood.
Okay, so I have an idea. Actually, just let me check something here. I have to check the. And now I need to make a measurement because if it's blood, I could just conceal. That's not what I meant to draw. Sorry. Line. Oh boy.
We might actually hit that 9:30 mark.
All right, so
we might hit beyond it.
All right.
No, you're fine.
Assuming it's just blood, like, does it look dried blood or wet blood?
Just get rid of it.
Wet.
All right, I'm gonna run over and I'm just gonna thumper stomp on it. I'm gonna cast Expeditious Retreat on myself so I can dash as a bonus action.
Yes.
Just bunny dash across the room. I move 60 feet because I have a movement of 30, which is enough to get me right on top of the thing.
Let's go.
And just, oh, my poor waistcoat, and I just roll around on it to just use my tiny body to disrupt
Yes, bunny.
of the lines and sigils as I can and get it all over my coat and my nice white fur. I look a horror. I just look terrible.
Yes, bunny. Mop it with your fur.
You.
Oh, I hate it.
I am sorry, Matt. You roll around and get blood all over your lovely coat, and you look down to see that you've disrupted the sigil, and you look up, and there is this ghoul, and it looks at you, and it shrieks in your face, and you watch as the sigils that you just rubbed out recenter themselves back into that same marking.
Oh, we have to kill the
Ah,
ghouls,
nuts.
guys.
We gotta get the ads. We gotta get the ads. They were great for
Well,
me, ads.
here's an idea. I still technically know I cast a spell and
Yeah.
that's my turn actually. Then because the
Yeah.
action
You
spell
you
bonus.
can I will say you can as just as a free action yell out, we have to kill the ads.
Oh, absolutely. Kill the
Yep.
ads. Help, please. Help, help, help.
Help, please. Please help. I'm shedding. My cat.
Does anyone have any I don't know, stain remover? My poor vest.
My poor coat.
But that's my turn. We should keep moving along.
Binks the Jinx, your turn. What
All
do you do?
right. Binks the Jinx is going to
My first idea.
I'm kind of torn between just attacking and like actually trying to figure out what her fucking deal is. Nah, I'm gonna figure out what her fucking deal is. I'm gonna cast Zone of Truth on this floating corpse and see what fucking happens.
All right.
And
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
What do you ask?
I'm gonna
Be like me?
I'm gonna cast it and I'm gonna shout at her. I'm gonna be like, "All right, miss, 3 things. What's your fucking deal? Um, like, how did you become this? Or like, how did you become this? Were you always like this? How do we get rid of you? Or how do we put you to rest?"
1. She looks at you and the zone of truth seems to take hold. And I see this as you've got a magical based aura around you now as the zone of truth pushes. Lisbeth and Gloria, you two are also in the zone of truth, technically
I
speaking.
will say in the efforts of fairness, you do get a saving throw.
Yes.
She
It
does
is not an
want
automatic.
She does not want to resist.
Oh.
Oh, okay, cool.
She looks at you, and as she hisses and hunches, so the first one was the question again. Hit me again.
Um, first question, were you always like this?
You man. And that's all she can say.
What did she say?
Human.
Human.
So no.
So no,
Not always like this.
she was not always like this. Second question, what happened to you?
Beloved helped.
Got it. Understand. Similar situation myself. Third, how do we put you to rest? Or better, how do we reunite you with your beloved?
And she looks at you, and you see from white eyes blood tears trailing down her face. And she looks at you and she goes, "Kill me."
Can do.
Don't have to ask
You
me
heard the
twice.
lady. Bonus action I will use this time. I'm going to use my divinity to regain a spell slot.
Nice.
All right, you regain that spell slot. Okay, next up in the turn order, is going to be the red ghoul, who's still aimlessly wandering, but he is hissing over at you. Timidus, as he wanders around you, go ahead and try to hit him.
Wait, don't hit the ghoul! Don't hit the ghoul! I shout out.
Well, I think we have to hit the ghoul.
Damn. Oh, right. To destroy her, we gotta hit the goal.
Yeah,
We're gonna
she
have
didn't
to kill
really
this ghoul.
specify how.
I mean, or else we can just DPS over the mechanics.
That may not work.
Remember,
What
if
does
we
that
if we deal enough damage,
I don't
mechanics
know what that
matter.
means. I don't know what that means. It's a cat.
Meow.
Well,
Meow,
Timidus,
see?
do you
Meow.
try to hit the ghoul as it aimlessly wanders from the turn undead spell? Matt,
Sorry?
do you try to hit it? Because it is going in and out of your zone of combat for your AoE.
We're slowly
You can try and hit
losing
it.
that.
With my little dagger? Sure.
I'm sorry, are you guys, you bored? Are you tired? I'm
bloody
trying
wasted.
to rush this.
No, no,
No,
no.
it's so good.
No, not at
I'm very
all.
Nope.
invested in this storyline.
Nope, not hitting that with the little dagger.
No, unfortunately, you are not able to hit it as it
Sorry, I
floats by you.
I didn't expect to be making an AO at any point tonight, sorry.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I
I'm just
was not.
invested in lore.
Yeah.
I just completely and totally forgot that turn undead was a freaking thing. So, like, here we are. For a minute. So we're stuck with this situation. Anyway, speaking of McKenna, please do something.
Well, Glory doesn't know anything about, I think, what Timidus has discovered.
Well, no,
and
I
she did
shouted
just-
it out.
No, he yelled
shut
it.
it out.
He did yell it.
He did
And
say
said,
we
"Help,
need to kill the
help, help."
ghouls.
But then she's gonna get an AO on me, and I don't want that.
To
And
be
there's
fair,
Lord.
if you absorb the AO, no one else would have to.
We're in this situation,
Fine.
folks.
Sometimes
We are
that's-
here for the
that's the tank.
spooks.
Yeah, you all-
Fine,
you-
I'm
you leave-
running
you-
over.
You three leave her to me. I can handle her.
Leave her to me.
Thank you for tanking. All right, I'm going to, and I think I have advantage on this.
That
one.
will not hit you anyway. So she tries to swipe at you, but definitely you are
was gonna
much
say,
more
okay,
agile.
stand by.
Very nice armor that you wouldn't sell.
Anyway, attack that ghoul.
Sarah, how do you adjudicate flanking? It's an optional roll in 5e.
It's retreating, so you can this one for these things that would be flank.
So that's
It's in a retreating motion, so yes.
sweet. First attack. First one's a 16. Second one's a
None of you
16
rules
plus
lawyer
8
me.
I'm not going to.
No, I'm talking to chat. Shush.
The first
The
is gonna be a
chat's very good
20,
at not doing that, I'd say.
24 to hit.
That will hit. Roll damage.
Great. I'm gonna roll the second attack actually. 10 and
Yep.
hold on. So it's gonna be an 18 for the second one.
Okay, that will also hit.
3 plus
Roll
5
that
will be
damage.
8 plus 5, 13 for the first attack.
Mhm.
3, 5, and another 13 for the second attack.
That's it. It's you cut it twice. 1, 2, it disintegrates.
Oh, thank God! I really didn't want to have to bite this thing.
No, yep. The you come in Timidus as you dodge Genevieve's swipe. You immediately come in, hack, slash. It cuts through. It doesn't cut through flesh. Cuts through spiritual's essence. But on the second cut, it dissipates. And Timidus, you
Ooh.
notice that the sigil itself is cracked now. It is
Oh, yeah.
broken.
I have a plan for the other one.
Oh.
Ooh. Does it involve your waistcoat?
No, it was the plan I should have done the first time, but I was worried. So now I'm going to do it. But it's not my turn.
Someone else's turn. 'cause
It's
my
Will's
turn's
turn before
over.
mine.
Yes, it is going to be the blue ghost who's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, not that.
The
That's
mirror's
part of the
haunted.
sigil. The
Poltergeist.
mirror sigil. Yes, those are mirrors, and yes, they are cracked now. You wouldn't have been able to
Nice.
shatter them otherwise. They would have just. They're essentially
Boing.
the thing that's tying to her is the mirror itself.
Yeah. So that will be
That
Will's,
is
Will's
it
turn,
for
I think.
the little blue ghost. It is Will's turn. Yes. What do you do?
Well, since I have her attention, I'm going to take the dodge action. So she has disadvantage to hit my AC of 25. And that will be my turn.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Delightful.
All right. I am going to look over at the other ghoul that is now sitting around right in the middle of the sigil, which is helpful. And little Timidus raises.
It's Genevieve's
Oh
turn,
yeah, sorry.
technically.
Sorry.
No,
Ah.
I appreciate that, but yes, it is. It's Genevieve's turn, and she is
Just
going
let us
to.
kill you, Genevieve.
It's what you want.
She looks you in the face, Binks, and just goes, "Can't." And you see, Timidus, because you made the Arcana check, you see the tug of that arcane bind pull at her just a little bit. And she lifts her arm and takes another swing at you, Lizbeth, which is at the disadvantage.
Yep.
Which is really great because one of those was a nat 20.
Ooh, smart, Will.
But the other one is an 8, which won't do. So she takes another swipe at you, and Will, your character, for some reason, it definitely tries to hit, but at the last second, Binks, you can see it from that corner. Timidus, you can see the pull of that string. She rainbows it.
That a girl.
And that is going to be her first attack.
Keep him up.
Yep, the second one is going to be a 16, which also probably will not hit indefinitely.
25.
Nope, but she does stitch herself up again.
That's fine.
Ah, rats.
Mm-hmm.
All
It's
my
okay,
hard
Jenny,
work
keep fighting it.
undone.
And Timidus, it is now your turn. Please bring this home.
I am going to look over across the piano or under it, depending on how tall the piano is and how short I am. I'm going to see the ghoul's legs, perhaps, which is all I need. Timidus, out of a little pocket on his waistcoat, and this is the actual spell component, takes a chip of mica and snaps it in half and casts Shatter.
Ooh.
And I'm going to focus it right on the ghoul and the mirror. And I'm going to elevate this. I'm going to add a spell level. I'm going to send it up to the 3rd level. So this
Use
will
those
be...
spell slots. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, that's why I want to do Arcane Recovery. This is going to now be 4d8 damage on a failed save. So it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yo.
Right.
Has to beat a 14.
That's a 17 on the die face.
Okay.
Crap.
Well, it's still going to take half damage.
It
And
still take half damage.
potentially gets the mirror and the sigil on the ground, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to roll that 4d8. It's going to be a 7 on the first, 4 on the second, so that's 11. Plus 6, so that's 17. And then a 1, so a total of 18, so 9 damage to the ghoul and 9 to the mirror and the sigil on the ground. I don't know, constants.
The ghoul still stands, but you can definitely see that the shattering sent it back. Its translucent essence kind of shifting a little, and the mirror doesn't crack, but you see it's warped.
I just
Just a
yell,
little.
Glory, you got this, and I am going to I'm just going to hide as a bonus action.
Yeah, all right, you can
I haven't
hide.
moved, so I'm going to move behind the piano and hide as a bonus action. 'Cause
Delightful.
I've still got Expeditious Retreat on, so.
You do indeed. Maya, your turn.
Rock and roll. All right. I'm gonna fucking look at this ghoul over here, and I'm gonna do a guiding bolt.
All right.
So that is going to be ranged spell attack. Got it.
Mhm.
All right. Ba, 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 ba. Come on. All right, here we go. So that is hang on, what's that adding again? That's a +5. Okay, so that is 19 to hit.
That will hit. Roll damage.
Beautiful. That's going to be 4d6 radiant damage.
Let's go.
Nice.
Oh, yes, baby. And I need one more dice. Let's see. Let's use this guy. This
So
looks
Maya,
like a
you
nice
just
guy.
got a hero point from Squishy.
Squishy. All right, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage.
You thrust out this guiding bolt with radiant light, and as it strikes in, it doesn't even strike. The thing evaporates in light, and the mirror is shattered, and the sigil is broken, and the Lady
I look at-
Genevieve
Yeah, I look at
crumbles to the
Jenny.
ground, and she
Wish
lifts her
granted.
head. Yeah, she crumbles to the ground, no longer floating, and she looks up at you. Hungry. And she lifts her hand and just like she reaches out towards you. But she is definitely no longer floating in the air. However, she is still in combat.
Now we can take her out permanently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
worry, Jenny.
Next up in the turn order then is McKenna Glory. It is your turn.
Oh, all right. So sigils are the ghouls are taken care of, are they not?
They
Yes.
are. Yes, I have to get rid of
Okay.
it. Hold on.
Okay, thank you. I was like, I thought it was, but it's still on. Okay. Great. Then I'm just gonna move right back
There
to
you go.
where I am, and I'm just gonna be like, playing still sands. We're killing her.
We're killing her. She wanted it. Wish granted.
Oh, I'm in flanking. I have advantage. Sweet. The first attack is going to be 17 plus 8. That's going to be a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
Nice.
Second one. Ooh, 8 was 8, 16 to hit?
15 is the AC.
Sweet. Oh, I do still have advantage, but that was okay. So I hit twice. First one is going to be 9 plus 5. That'll be 14 for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 plus 5, 11 for the second one. And then
You've
I'm
cut her open again, and those wounds remain as you've sliced through flesh. And you realize, almost suddenly, you realize she's bleeding, but it's coagulated blood. It's not new blood.
let's go for some tendons. With my bonus action, I will be biting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that'll be a 16 to hit.
That will hit.
Gotta love those tendons.
Yeah, that's only
Chewy.
unfortunately going to be 6 damage.
So you definitely do get a nice chunk, almost exactly in the same spot you did last time too, right where her neck muscles are and her tendons, except this time that wound is very fresh, the coagulated blood.
You know what?
You do actually feel a little sick from that bite.
Do I need to make a
And I
fort
need
save?
you, yeah, if you could make a, if you could make actually a Constitution save, that would be great.
That's a 9 plus 6. All right, that's a 15.
Okay, so 15 will pass it. So you save that one, but you do definitely can tell that is very much tainted, ugly blood. It's
Bad
not
blood.
fresh blood. Bad blood.
Gross. I action surge.
Ah, let's go! Fighters, we love them.
13. All right, it's 13 plus 8. That's going to be 21. So 21
Nice.
That will hit. Mm-hmm.
and 18. So that'll be another 2 attacks.
If you were a champion fighter, that 18 could have crit.
Plus- well, that's with the modifier.
Yep.
So the first one is 12. The second one is 13. And fuck the con save because I get another bonus action. I'm going in for another bite.
Oh,
Oh
my
boy.
god.
Well, that's a 14, so it doesn't hit.
That's not.
Well,
That won't hit.
I do still have a hero point.
You do still have
I
a
mean-
hero
I'm gonna
point.
use my hero point.
Use
Take it
that hero
home.
point.
All right, 18 plus 8, that'll be a 26 to hit.
That'll
Okay,
hit.
roll above a 1 on my d6. This is a 3, so that'll be an 8 total in nasty damage.
Nasty damage.
So I'm gonna
Spit
ask
that blood
you,
out.
McKenna Glory. How do you murder this poor vampire spawn?
Ah! I think I missed the jugular. I think I get a little overzealous and go straight for the spine and rip out her spinal cord with my teeth.
So you reach, and as you go to bite after you've cut, slash, 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 bite, slash, bite. You come in and you angle because you're so close. You've got a bloodlust in you now to finish off that fight. Almost a rage, but not quite a rage because you know exactly where you're going for. You bite the back of the nape of her neck where her spine is, and you see from the corner of your eyes as she chokes on coagulated blood that comes out of her mouth. And as you pull, you rip out a portion of her spine, not the whole thing. That is not actually a thing you can really do. It breaks up about
Attached to
halfway
all the
through.
ribs and such wood, I suppose.
It's the spine is in sections, so you pull with the
Debone
meaty
a fish.
tendons, but you
It is
do
not the
watch
full Street
as
Fighter
she
fatality.
crumbles, as you've spat out this coagulated poison spine as it hits the floor, and her body crumbles, and you watch as her entire self begins to shrivel and shudder, and she looks at you with pure eyes, pure white, and she disintegrates into dust.
Oy.
Rest easy.
And as you all, and I'm gonna finish this off with some lovely stories. So let me
Okay.
finish off this story, y'all.
Mhm.
As you stand, there is no more vampires or ghouls. There's just dead bodies, scorched. Light begins to not shred. Light begins to crest through a window just over where the piano is. It's dawning light, which is strange because you could have sworn you were here at dusk. But this is dawning light. You hear something speak. You did it. And you all turn, and in the doorway is the Genevieve you saw in the village.
I knew you were up to something, you little weirdo.
She's wearing the humble clothes of a young lady. She's smiling at you, and her body is fully transparent. And she looks at you, and you see she no longer looks sickly anymore. She looks vibrant, like a young woman just come to a village, freshly in love. I knew someone would answer my letter. I hoped. I'm glad it was you. And I'm sorry for lying. But you see, I couldn't stop it alone. He wanted so badly to make me better, you see. He was a good man. He really was. But I'm just so ready to rest. As promised, and as a thank you, there is a vault beneath the basement, just outside the cellar doors. There's a chest in there. It has some gold, some fineries. It was my dowry. I never got to use it. So it's yours. There's no one here left who can use it anyway. And she begins to fade as the light crests higher and higher, and you hear her. I hope they can forgive me in the afterlife for what I've done, for what DuPont has done. But I guess it doesn't matter anymore. So, thank you. And she fades away in the light. No more. And as you look around, there's no more corpses, just the charred ruins of a house that was once a home, and a village that was once a place. Now it is land taken by the earth, by nature. And as you, all of you, step out of the mansion to see it is no longer the opulent beauty that it is nothing more than the charred remains of what once was. You were able to find a chest in the cellar where wine used to be kept. It has some gold, about 600 pieces of gold, actually. Some beautiful dresses, fans, jewelry, and a beautiful picture of a man and woman. The woman is sitting, wearing a cloak. The man is Lord Dupont Red, and he looks so proud of his wife. And she looks happy. And as you make your way out of the village of Dusklight, you have money now.
Yay!
Yay,
I
money.
need a new waistcoat.
Yay,
I'm
money.
Remember,
starving.
Sarah, I remember your last Halloween special where the house around us crumbled to dust and we got no reward.
I listened. I gave you a damn
I was
reward this
waiting
time.
for
I was
horror
so
in
ready to
Halloween.
not have any money at the end of this. I was like, as soon as we
Well-
walked into the party, I was like, everyone here's already dead. We're not getting paid.
Thank you all so much for coming to our Spooktacular, a slightly longer episode. Thank
Yes,
you to
thank you.
Sarah, also known as Cosmic D8746,
So
for
fun,
the
Sarah.
amazing adventure and amazing night. Excellent job, Sarah. Chat,
you for
show
letting
Sarah
me
some
play.
love. And thank you all so much, chat, for coming down. Check out our many other shows here on the channel. Give us a follow if you're new here. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.